Good morning, everybody. This is your S&P 500 setups for today. So just starting off on the weekly again, just highlighting we do have the start of diversions here. The swing low, look at the oscillators there, and look where the oscillators are heading. So that's starting to play out. We do have a massive weekly level that we've bounced off, and we also have this weekly level right here, which is also going to be of interest today. So the big question is, if this weekly bar closes above 42.70, then we have a fairly interesting setup, because that could be a retest of this zone that happened in 2021. So that is the long-term view. It's not to say that that's what we should be doing today. As soon as you start dropping down through the time frames, you can see the diversions clearly on the 8-hour. You can see how we flirted with this level. Tried to find support this week, which looked like it was setting up for a double bottom, didn't really materialize, and then we broke black below it. We're now testing that area. So we're coming up to test 42.70. And we are still in a downward trend. So it is down until it's not, and at the moment, as you move through the time frames, you start seeing a few conflicting stories. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. We do this every morning and get it right most of the time. So I just want to add this little level in here, because we have a little zone here. Probably going to be around 42.74, 42.75. Okay, so clear downtrend, no debate about that. We have a diagonal trend line here from this week, which we are testing at the moment. So this area that we're in means we need to add one more level in. There it is there. We need to pay attention, and there's one more where price is. I'm not going to put that in because it's going to make our chart messy. So we need to see, well, for an uptrend to start here, we need to get above the structure, come back and test it. Okay, so that's from the 3-hour perspective. When we drill down to the hour, we get a little bit of a different picture. Well, not really a little bit of a different picture. It's starts to look more like a flag than anything else. You can see big move down, channel, break of channel, forming a channel to the upside, or a flag, where you want to look at it, straight into an area of resistance. And that kind of looks like another leg down to me. But yesterday was a pretty strong up day. And if you look at that on the daily, you're going to see a fairly big inside green bar with diversions, and this from a daily perspective sets up a potential flag or double bottom, but it would have to get above 43.32 for that to happen. So that 4300 comes back into play. Now, as for our hindsight from yesterday, nothing really there. I was looking for rejections, wasn't any rejections, and we eventually crossed over all the moving averages, and it looks like a rounding bottom here. So yeah, the hour looks like a big flag, and the 15-minute looks like a pretty solid trend reversal pattern that is forming. So I obviously want confirmation of it before jumping into it, and at the moment, because of this overhead resistance here, I'm a little bit reluctant to accept that we have a rounding bottom here. We do have non-farm payrolls tomorrow, so I wouldn't be too surprised to see us just range, sort of find two bits of structure and range. So diagonal resistance here as well, so I definitely don't want to be jumping in long here. But what I do want to be doing is just look left and fine-tune the levels that we have. You can see here's the sort of a, let's call it a little bit of a half-hearted tweezer bottom at 42.57. You can see it was tested here as well, tested at the close, and then this morning it's dropped below. So I would assume that would be the first level that we'd need to pay attention to. Second level that I would want to be paying attention to would be this pin bar here, and you do have another level right there, so there's pretty solid strong area, and the 155 is there. So remember, what I look for in a confirmation for a trend reversal is a pattern, and here's the pattern. I then look for price to be above the moving averages, which it is, but then I also look for a retest of the 150 EMA, and that happens to coincide with 42.50, which is a nice round number as well. So this, to me, a rejection here would be ideal. That would set up the structure for me, and I'd be quite happy to take a long off that. So what we're looking for when I say test the structure, I'm going to be looking for engulfing bars. I'm going to be looking for a pin bar. There's a pin bar there. And I'm going to be looking for an inside bar. There's an inside bar. So one of those three. And if it's an engulfing bar or inside bar, there's a high probability that there'll be two. So you see the first one, you'll see the second one, and then you'll see the move. Pin bars typically bounce pretty quickly, quite aggressive. So that structure I'll be looking for, and I'm going to be looking for it off this 42.50 area. If that doesn't materialize, then obviously this is the next level to pay attention to, which is 42.57. But we're so close to overhead resistance here. I don't think I'd want to be jumping in here, because this here could also be a double top with a break here, and that lines up with what we're seeing on the hour. Okay, so still lots of confusion here. Nothing set in concrete. This, if you see what price has been doing, it rallies, bounces off structure, and then down. Rallies, down, rallies. What's next? Good potential for down, and this is weekly resistance that we're in at the moment. So take that with a big pinch of salt. On the hour, we do have a crossover here of the moving averages, but we're obviously in between these moving averages. So I would expect the 150 to come closer to moving averages, expect them all to come close and start leveling out during the session today, and then we're just going to bounce in amongst them until non-farm payrolls comes out. That's pretty much what you should see. We should see some sort of a range form, unless there's some huge catalyst that is going to happen. Okay, so that's kind of my outlook for this morning. It 50-50 call, in my opinion. Could be sort of a rounding bottom from the 15-minute up, or alternatively, it could be a flag. And we haven't said what the shorts would be if there was some kind of failure. I just want to get, sorry, just let me get back here. It's going to be a difficult call. I don't like losing money. So 50-50 calls typically put me on the side. I don't see anything else that's close by. So let me just do that. Essentially, for a short for me, it's going to be a swing below or a break and retest of this swing low here. So that should be around 42.40. So I'd want to see a break and a retest of that. That should validate the flag, and it will give us a fairly big move to the downside. That's the only time that I'm going to be looking at short at the moment. Okay, so that's kind of my view at the moment. Definitely don't want to be short in this area, not with a crossover of the moving averages right now on the hour. So I'd want to break below it, cross over the moving average, come back and test it, and that would give me the confidence that we have the downward trend. For now, we have potential for a reversal, and we also have the potential for a continuation of the downward trend. So it's 50-50 call. Could go up, could go down. It just depends which way the wind blows at the moment. So we have to just wait for the structure and wait for the confirmation of what's going on. Hope that helps, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow morning. Cheers for now.